Hello students, welcome back. This is Mrs. Mercado speaking. This is Accounting 2402, Principles of Managerial Accounting. This lecture deals with Chapter 28, which talks about the balanced scorecard and corporate social responsibility. Okay, like every week, it's just a reminder to please ensure to read the chapter before you attempt any of your homework problems or assignments. Okay, now this chapter deals with performance measurement systems that are basically developed as a means of measuring companies' financial condition and performance. Metrics are used as a way to measure or gauge the company's performance in various areas. Okay. Strategic performance measurement systems define and link the company's strategic objectives to the performance metrics of a company. Okay. So it's a lot of analysis that is being performed here so we can make the best decision to identify what is the best option that we have. We're going to measure performances in different areas, customer service, production, things of that nature, so we can identify what is the standard, what is the measurement that we have, compare them, and then make a decision. Okay, so I'm not going to go over the content of the chapter. I'm going to leave that to you so you can read on your own. I am going to dive into the exercises. Okay, the first exercise that I am going to be covering today is exercise 28-4. Okay, this problem deals with performance metrics. Okay, so it reads: Buffalo Barbecue Restaurant is trying to become more efficient in training its chefs. It is experimenting with two different training programs aimed at this objective. Both programs have basic and advanced training modules. The restaurant has provided the following data regarding the two programs after 2 weeks of implementation. So we have Training Program A and Training Program B. We have the number of chefs, the number of basic training, the number of advanced training, and the number of chef mistakes made for each of the two programs. So the first requirement is we are being asked to compute the following performance metrics for each program. The first metrics that we have to do is the average hours of employee training per chef, rounded to 1 decimal place. And they're asking this for both programs, okay? So, first requirement, average hours of employee training per chef, rounded to 1 decimal place. And we're going to have training program A. So we're going to look at the data for training program A, and we're going to look at the number of hours for the basic and the advanced training. We need to get the total number of hours invested into this training program, both at the basic level and the advanced level. Okay, so to do that, what we're going to do is, let me see. We're going to get these figures right here. No fill. So we're looking at the basic training hours and the advanced training hours for training program A. So what we're going to do, we're going to just add them all together. 22 plus 24 plus 28 plus 21 plus 23. And then we're adding the advanced training, which is 8 plus 7 plus 8 plus 10 plus 11. Okay. Now let's get our calculator out and let's see what that gives us. So it's 22 plus 24, 28, 21, 23, 8, 7, 8. Oh, that was too much. 22, 24, 28, 21, 23, 8 plus 7 plus 8 plus 10 plus 11. That's 162 hours, okay? So training program A requires 162 hours of training. Okay, 162. Okay, we're going to do the same thing, but now for program B. Okay, let me just mark it over here. So we're going to have the same data being picked up, but now for training program B. Okay, so what we're going to go ahead and we're going to add all of our regular or our basic training plus our advanced training hours. So we have 25 plus 24 plus 29 plus 31 plus 28 plus the advanced training is 4 plus 3 plus 1 plus 2. Okay, and let's see what that gives us. That's 25 plus 24 plus 29 plus 31 plus 28, 4, 3, 1, 2. That gives me 147 hours. So now we know how many hours are being invested in training program A and in training program B. Okay? 162 hours for training program A, 147 hours for training program B. Okay, now they're also asking you, let me insert a cell right here in between. They're also asking you, let me move this up. To obtain the average hours of employees training per shift rounded to one decimal place and the average number of mistakes per shift rounded to one decimal place. Okay, so, well, no, I don't have to do that. I'll just do it down here. Let me just delete this. That way I'll just keep it separate. Oh, instead of deleting, I edit. Here we go. Okay, so for letter A, the average hours of employee training per chef. Oh, where am I going? Oh, sorry. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. So, I know that I have 162 hours, okay, invested in training program A, and I'm going to divide that by the number of chefs that we have. We have 5 chefs in training program A. So I've got 162 hours divided by 5. That gives me 32.4 hours per chef. 32.4 hours per chef. So we are investing about 32.4 hours in each of the chefs in the training program A. Now, if we do the same thing for training program B, we have 147 hours. And we're going to divide by the 5 chefs that we have. Okay? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 chefs for training program B. Okay, that'll be 147 divided by 5. That gives me 29.4. 29.4 hours per chef. Okay. So, let's recap. The average hours of employee training per chef rounded to one decimal place. So they're asking for the average number of employee training per chef. So per chef, we are looking at about 32.4 hours per chef for training program A. For training program B, we're looking at 29.4 hours per chef. Okay. Now requirement 2 says, what is the average number of mistakes per chef rounded to one decimal place? Okay. So once again, we're going to have program A and program B. Okay. So now we're looking at mistakes. Average number of mistakes. So the mistakes is our last row. Okay. So we have to focus on what's happening here. Okay, give me a second here. Insert shapes, and I'm going to insert it here. No fill. Here we go. So we're looking at the number of chef mistakes for program A. Okay, So for program A, we're going to look at the mistakes, and we have 12 plus 13 plus 15 plus 14 plus 14. Let's see what that gives us. 12 plus 13 plus 15 plus 14 plus 14. That gives me 68 mistakes for program A. Same concept for program B. 7 plus 6 plus 8 plus 5 plus 6. And let's see what that gives us. 7 plus 6 plus 8 plus 5 plus 6 gives me 32. Okay, 32 mistakes. So they're wanting the average number of mistakes. So to get the average is we're going to get the number of mistakes, 68 mistakes, divided by the number of training people, okay, per chef. How many chefs did we have in training program A? We had 5 chefs. So it'll be 68 times, 68 divided by 5. That gives me 13.6. 13.6 mistakes per chef. Okay. For program B, okay, so for program B, we already have a total of 32 mistakes. So we have 32 mistakes. And we're going to divide by 5 chefs, which we had. (32) divided by 5. That gives me 6.4 mistakes per chef. Okay, so those are our calculations to get the average hours of employee training per chef and the average number of mistakes per chef. Now, the next one is a little bit of critical thinking. Okay, what program should the restaurant implement moving forward? So we have to analyze the data, and we have to determine what is it they're asking? Which program should the restaurant implement moving forward? Okay, so let's write it out here. After calculating the performance metrics, it is clear that the restaurant should implement we're wanting to implement program B because program B, you see, it's less hours of training per chef. It's 29 versus 32. And then they have less mistakes. They have 6.4 mistakes versus 13.6 mistakes. Okay. Okay. So, after calculating the performance metrics, it is clear that the restaurant should implement program B moving forward because it required fewer total training hours per let's see. So it says, after calculating the performance metrics, it is clear that the restaurant should implement program B because it requires fewer. It requires fewer total training hours per chef and yielded fewer mistakes per chef. Okay. So let's see what we're doing here. What we're doing here is they just provided you two different training programs. They gave you the number of basic training hours and advanced training hours and the number of mistakes made by each person. Using this data, we have to analyze, get the average hours of employee training per chef, rounded to one decimal place, and then we had to have the average number of chef mistakes. Okay. So once we run all of those calculations, those are going to be the solutions. Now, letter B. Which program should the restaurant implement moving forward? And what do we write here? It says, after calculating the performance metrics, it is clear that the restaurant should implement program B moving forward because it requires fewer total training hours per chef and yielded fewer mistakes per chef. Okay. So that's the first lecture for the first part of chapter 28. You will have multiple lectures that I'm going to be attaching as I record them. That way you can have all of your resources available. Okay, but that is basically it. As soon as I get a copy of, sorry, I drifted here. But so that's basically what we have to do in this particular scenario. Just get the tabulation of your program A, program B, and then once you do that, divide by the number of employees, and then that will give you your average. Okay. I completely forgot what I was going to say. Well, I guess that's it. So those are the two requirements that need to get done. They're fairly easy. It's just a matter of organizing all of your information to make it easier to understand. Okay, so that is basically it for lecture A. I will be recording another lecture shortly. So you'll have multiple lectures included in your, what is it? I don't know where I left my syllabus. Let me see. It's right here. Okay, and this is 28, chapter 28. Okay, so now this particular problem, make sure that you do read the chapter and that you follow the different calculations that are being done so you can be able to complete it for your homework. It's very easy, just tabulating the correct information, adding the information from program A, from program B, dividing it by the number of employees you have to get your solution. Okay, so that is it. Like I said before, I will be recording, I believe it's about 3 short videos. That way it can help you out and provide you guidance when you're completing your assignments. So for now, that is it. Until next time, be safe.